spirit of homecoming is upon us as the EHS community celebrates the entire week.
And another spirit has captivated the EHS campus on this ghostly time of year. Hello, and welcome to KEHS. I'm Tinley Kane.
And I'm Makai Wong. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Night Vision News. Leading up to the homecoming game against the St. John's Mavericks, everyone has been dressing up in the themes provided by the Student Council to help the student body show their spirit and celebrate the school's rich history.
This week, all grades dressed up every single day in a different theme to show our spirit for the upcoming game this Friday. Here's the students' input on the Homecoming Spirit Week and how they feel about the game.
We had an amazing week at Homecoming Week this week. Monday we started off with the class colors. Seniors wore blue, sophomores wore pink, and freshmen wore red. Tuesday was our dynamic twin duo. Basically just come dressed up as a twin. Wednesday was our sports jersey day, so you just wore a sports jersey. Thursday was our throwback day. It was a throwback day, just coming something throwback, bringing out the old school. Friday is just wear your homecoming shirt to show EHS spirit. And also with Friday, we have our big homecoming game this week that we played at U of H, which is TDECU Stadium. So please, I hope everyone come out and support. But I just want to say it has been a great homecoming week, especially with what's going on right now, the adversity that we're facing. Us Knights, we handled it successfully, and I'm proud.
I think the freshmen especially, I saw a lot of people wearing like their Spirit Week stuff. I think we did good with the theme nights we had, and hopefully they show out tonight. I think I'm feeling pretty good about the game. We beat this team last year, same thing, homecoming game. I think the students will turn out pretty well, even with the COVID restrictions going on right now. I just feel pretty good that our team will put the win.
Our cheerleaders are especially excited to support our team tonight versus St. John's.
I'm super excited for the game tonight because I think a lot of people are going to come. And since it's the homecoming game, it's going to be really fun. And it's also senior night, so I think it's going to be really fun too. And I think this week was really good because we all got to dress up and to win with our friends and throw it back to the 80s. So I thought it was really cool to see everyone's outfits, and I hope that we win tonight, beat St. John's. I think we already will beat them, but yeah.
The student body has showed amazing energy this week, and hopefully we bring that same energy to TDECU Stadium tonight. I'm Olivia Henshaw reporting for KEHS News. Back to you in the studio.
Given the circumstances, people were still able to participate and have a good time in the process. Recently, junior Natalie Toops and sophomore Mia Tuckwood joined the JV football team, a first for the Episcopal sports program. To see how their overall experience has been is KEHS reporter Margaret Hammond.
Hi, I'm Margaret Hammond, and today we're going to be getting a closer look of the overall experience of being a girl on the football team.
We interviewed sophomore Mia Tuckwood on the way in which she became the kicker of the JV football team and how she likes being involved in a sport that is mainly male-dominated.
Well, I kind of just always wanted to do it, and I've kind of always been interested in kicking, so I just decided to do it this year and try it out.
We also asked her about the social aspects of being on the JV boys football team.
The guys are kind of weird, not gonna lie, but it's fun. I like hanging out with them. They're cool. They've been really inclusive to me, so I'm happy for that, and it's been really fun to kick with them.
Next is Natalie Toops, a junior wide receiver on the JV football team, on her experience.
I've always been into football, but during basketball practice, we were just talking about it, and they encouraged me to play. I don't see her that much just because she's a kicker and I'm a wide receiver, but definitely during games, we talk.
Thank you for watching our segment about female football games. Make sure you go check out JV football games and go Knights.
Good luck, girls, on your landmark adventure. After months of preparation and fundraisers, the new internationally certified field hockey turf is nearing its finish. KEHS reporter Morgan Herod tells us more about the state-of-the-art surface on the south side of campus.
After years of competing on grass, the field hockey team is finally getting an internationally certified turf field hockey field. With the help of parents, faculty and staff, and coaches, we are able to make this dream possible. With this field will come increased skill and passion for the sport.
We previously talked to Coach Grove about this accomplishment and how it all got started and where he sees it taking the field hockey program.
I think this had been a plan that folks had talked about for a long time, and I think our field hockey program just continued to grow under Coach Evans' leadership. And I think folks had just gotten excited because St. John's had built their field and Kincaid had their second field. And so the thought was, why don't we have a field here at Episcopal? And our field hockey community and parents, folks got very excited about it. The money came in, our donors have been so gracious, and now we've got it. I think it's going to make the program better in a lot of ways. I think, again, the field is just a byproduct of, number one, outstanding coaching. Number two, we've got some girls that are really excited about field hockey, not just here at Episcopal, but in Houston. And I think a field hockey facility like ours, arguably now the top facility in the state of Texas, one of the top 12 facilities in the United States, it's just going to give our students the opportunity to train on the very best surface, to play on the very best surface. And I think it's, the expectations will continue to rise for the program.
I'm Morgan Herod reporting for KEHS News.
The Episcopal community appreciates the notoriety the new field will bring to the school and thanks those involved. COVID-19 has impacted every aspect of normal school life, and one important part of school has consistently changed to combat this impact. Here's my co-anchor Makai Wong with his report on the new lunch delivery system.
This year at EHS, lunches have varied, from cold lunches in classrooms to warm lunches and eating outside. We interviewed some students to gain their point of view on the new changes due to COVID. From the school giving space seating outside with comfortable fans for a nice breathe to chill and relax with your friends, to eating lunch in the classroom that you just had a test in, and even earlier this year, sitting in an isolated seat in almost complete silence in the school gym. Most recent in the school year, eating outside accompanied with the legendary food from the school's cafeteria. We then interviewed students to ask what they think on the lunch changes this year.
So I think ever since they've switched to the hot lunch, the food has been much better. I think most people can agree with me on that.
I don't like the outdoor seating because it's not fun and it's hot and we don't get to socialize with our friends.
So I like the outside seating. I think it's a good way to socialize with your friends because usually, especially now, you can't really socialize with your friends because of COVID and all that. And I think this is like the one time of the day where you can actually sit with your friends and talk to them.
As you can tell, many different students have different perspectives on the new lunches, but hopefully later in the future, if we can have an even more positive change. Reporting for KEHS News, I'm Makai Wong.
Though I have heard students are happy getting back to a normal lunch experience. As a senior, I'm glad we were able to keep off-campus lunch in the schedule. Episcopal High School prides itself on a diverse faculty, and some bring with them an international flair. Reporter Turner Clark tells us more about how these teachers found their way to EHS.
Episcopal High School, the international faculty help grow and strengthen the community. They use their experiences to enrich the curriculum as well.
International faculty can be found in almost every department, including language, performing arts, and history. I spoke with the choir teacher, Mr. Garman Ashby, who told me about how he came to Episcopal and how his home of South Africa influenced his teachings.
I first, after studying, I came to this country to do postgraduate studies and ended up teaching or working in Arizona and was looking for a school similar to the school that I taught in for many years in South Africa and Cape Town, which was an Episcopal church school, which was really the kind of school that I liked. And I'd heard about Episcopal High School and made some inquiries, and we spoke to each other, and I visited and loved the students, loved the administration and people that I met, and that's how it happened. In several ways. I've always been a church musician and a choral director, and I think one of the things which I brought with me was a love of diversity of styles of music, particularly world music. In other words, music from different cultures. So we've done a certain amount of African music here at Episcopal, but also I did a lot of work over there with choirs of different ages and different abilities. And so I've loved working at Episcopal with students who've never sung before, as well as with students who are really good, experienced singers, And also I've loved working with faculty and staff choirs as well. So I think that has really informed how I've taught and what I've taught here at Episcopal.
Next, I spoke with one of Episcopal's many history teachers, Mr. Julius Michael, who spoke to me about how he came to Houston and uses his African culture in his teaching.
I am from a small country in East Africa called South Sudan. It was basically, I was at a refugee camp when I was 10 years old, and the camp was attacked by some rebels. This was back in the 90s, and we escaped, and another family took me along with them, helping them escape. And then I lost contact with my biological parents, and then they just kind of took me in as one of their own. And I call him my uncle now. He was in Houston, and he called for his parents to come to Houston. And then since I was already with that family, they decided to bring me along with them to the city of Houston. I mean, it's a very diverse country. Like, there are over 500 languages spoken, different just ethnic backgrounds. So I try to bring that into it, the different perspective, different languages that are spoken, different foods. So just appreciating diversity. So that kind of influenced how I teach. It's big on music, so every now and then, especially when we get to the Africa section in my class, I'll bring more music into the classroom.
Then I met with Miss Kate Leong, the Chinese language teacher, who talked to me about how Taiwan has influenced her life.
I came to America like 15 years ago for my graduate school, and then when I graduate, the school say I can actually do a teaching internship, and then I started several schools, and then I end up at the Episcopal, and then I love it because I'm teaching Mandarin Chinese, which is my language. And then we're really fortunate. We have a Taiwanese culture center here, and then we have a lot of temple. And then we even have organization, had Taiwan festival every year. So I would take my student to volunteer, or we would visit the culture center and then to celebrate a lot of Taiwanese holiday and Chinese traditional culture.
And lastly, I talked to Mr. Alex Bruton, a Spanish teacher at EHS, who explained how his home of Mexico has influenced him as a teacher.
Well, was born and raised in Mexico City, and a very interesting place to be born and raised in, and I give a lot of credit to my parents who still live in Mexico City, but they love Mexico, and most of our vacations when we were growing up were in Mexico. So I grew up, my parents are from the United States, so I grew up in a kind of a very bicultural kind of family life. We spoke English at home, and then we used Spanish outside at school and with a lot of our friends. One of the things is that I've grown to be quite, have a lot of cultural sensitivity and understanding of other cultures and other ways of seeing the world. And so one of the things I try to do in my classes is really try to impress on my students that the cultures of other countries are very interesting, very varied, but also very fun to learn about. And that there's a big world out there with lots to explore and lots to learn.
This is Turner Clark reporting for KEHS News.
Thank you for that interesting report, Turner. With Halloween fast approaching, rumor has it that Episcopal High School is the host to a ghostly resident, specifically the convent building's 4th floor. Here's my co-anchor Tinley Kane with her investigative report on the spirit that may or may not inhabit the campus.
EHS was once owned by the Mother House Convent for the Sisters of Incarnate Word and Blessed Sacrament. Legend has it that some sisters' spirits remain and haunt one of the school's buildings till this very day. Normally, the 4th floor cannot be accessed, but KEHS News was fortunate enough to get exclusive access. Upon entering the floor, I was immediately greeted by creepy mannequins and quite the dim hallway. Speaking with David Framel, I got some insight with personal experiences of this spirit being witnessed firsthand.
Well, I've been at Episcopal for 15 years, and when you're new to the community, you hear these stories, especially if you are teaching in the convent. And I heard the stories initially. I never had any experiences for the longest time, and then one day, a colleague of mine who's no longer here came to me, and she had worked late into the evening the night before, and she said she had stepped out into the third floor hallway and had looked all the way down the hallway, and through a closed door which has a window on it, she had seen at the other end of the hallway a face. And it was her impression that it was possibly the nun that inhabits the convent.
Filled with old furniture the school has used in its past, the fourth floor is honestly pretty anticlimactic, just being the school's additional storage unit. Rumors have a tendency to be extended of the truth. Mr. Framel shared what he believes to be the truth regarding the spirits of the nuns who remain on campus.
So for myself, I have been in my room late at night and working, and the desktops that are in my yearbook lab have turned on without any motion, without any encouragement from somebody touching the mouse. They've just turned on. So it's these types of things that make me kind of wonder. I'm always open to the possibilities of anything, anything at all, even if it is the supernatural or the spiritual. I'm open to those ideas. Is there something inhabiting the convent here at Episcopal High School? I just don't know.
Looking back on some footage we gathered, we noticed something peculiar in the background. Let's take a closer look at that.
This is Tinley Kane reporting live for KEHS News.
Tinley, I'm glad that you came back in one piece. Well, that's all we have this week on Night Vision News. I'm Makai Wong.
And I'm Tinley Kane. From all of us at KEHS News, thank you for joining us.
And go Knights!